You could have it all, baby. You could have me, baby. You could have it all, baby, but you don't want everything. You could have it all, but you don't want it. You could have it all, but you don't want it. You could have it all, but you don't want it. You could have me, but you don't want everything. Welcome to Wu Yi's Colorful Poetry Mix. Time we have a minor skiff. You run away and don't come back. But then you do out of the blue just like that. Give me my friend. You said you'd be there through the end. Through the end. Give me my friend. We aren't through. We have a lot more left to do. Relationships don't end when the escape hatch is open. Can't you see? So you want a refund? Okay by me. I'll give you a partial refund. You already took so much from me. Give me my friend. You said you'd be there through the end. Through the end. Give me my friend. We aren't through. We have a whole lot more left to do. Welcome to Wu Yi's Colorful Poetry Mix. I am Wu Yi, formerly known as Ame Ai. Both names stand for Rain Love. I'm going to read for you, my first book, Love Not Love. After aging. Images are not as imagery. Foolish dreams are not as pipefoolery. Spontaneity not as impulsivery. Radicalism is seen only through intense studiosity. Come might not be as plentifical. Shocks might not be as disturblical. Things you are taught do not lead straight to the heart. Sheltered feelings are harder to pinpoint than a dart. People who are in love are the people who stay, and people who dream are those who don't run away. And thoughtful rebellions happen every day. Worship of the long hard woody. I bow to the power sealed within a metallic lead, a mighty like ink, yet changeable as any wise one is. Long and firm, my hands want to grasp and massage this hexagonal cylinder. Sharp at one end, it could kill an eye. Crowned with silver and soothing like the scratching of nails down my back, it is a mixture of tree and stone with a metallic smell and wooden taste. A leaden leader. I feel your smoothness and sturdiness, and I burn with desire to apply your sharpened end to virgin paper. To my best friend and lover, Pentech number 2. Storytelling. The wind he whistled was calm and bright, whispery white, feather light. The wind he drummed came like torrential rain, full of gestures, a jarring avalanche that echoed, hello, hello, Papa Bear. The wind he brought in from the tide was resolved and mellow, hauntingly dark and velvet, something you can sleep on. The wind he blew was vibrato like the pages of Golden. His inflection was heavy and dewy and pretty and old and rocked like his chair and was foreign and bouncing and intimidating and creaked under the pressure of his gray locks. And was quick and slow and high and low, reflecting off the pains of years and changing as the frequency of sound. The child adores this man. What is the difference between a silence that is uncomfortingly too personal and too loud? Why, child, aren't you listening? And one that's not alive. This is beautiful, beautiful, darling. Do you understand its beauty? Gramps, why is your hair so soft? And one that is hilariously too quiet, the one before the bang when their eyes become dinner plates. And one that is chillingly, impossibly real. The curtains lace their way in the wind like balloons. Grandpa curled his claws on oak armrests. And one that's content and surreal. Hush, the babe's asleep. And one which makes children grow fonder. When I grow up, I'm going to tell my children stories. Gravel chuckles. You do that. Pet the head. Good night, good night. Skips a trotting foot on crackling, gargling bench floors. The different frequencies of expression and love, situation and honor. Control. Cover me with sterilized sutures. Weave me like a tense violin. Twist my DNA like blood spaghetti. Control my life. Read to me words of dying dead men. Obscure my train of thought with maniacal laughter. Then I will be translucent like the rest. Yes, yes, translucent. And I will never vote because that is what you taught me, to willingly succumb. Spineless, ignorant, a massive cabbage. Control my life. Two-sided. I'm a herder, like Sherman's March I burn. Shiva, Eris, Discordia, my name. But everyone's a two-sided coin. Let me flip for you. I have a two-sided face like Jekyll and Hyde. I lay destruction in waste and then I cry. All they tell you is a lie. A cycle does not last forever. Cycles are wheels. Wheels, mindless inertia that crashes and kills. Coins are a risk, a 50-50 chance. We're not just cycles, just two-sided coins, and faith-based creatures who do not yearn, but need to keep going. May I flip, hope beyond hope, so that you may too. February 29th, 2005. A simplest truth in all complexities. Lullaby rendering me self-quaking and still. Imitation beneath unequal distaste, apathetically, of heartfully joyous doves, overflowing thy continents of my heart. As inefficiently as my wager was defined, green in envy I uselessly wooed. Wishes wildly unchained as winter's piping winds, and I without the patent to woo. Dear fool, wasn't I gayest in earthly glee before I look upon this full-grown man's ungrown soul? Yet now I would rather live a nun's secluded life of austerity, if I may not see it when we two be tied in wedded matrimony. Dear Lord, I follow thee till I fall from the ends of the earth. For within his freckled dimple is stained with a slyly flirting rite with women coming in crowds, in number more than shall I speak, in fear I ruin any reputation he has. If I have recognition, it is a very dear expense, seeing a detestation upon his eyes, a quote I be right. For rather he yearns for starry night sky eyes, owned by mistresses of the playing field, the melodious song of such fair beauty with moonlit gold that dawn her locks might sway him so much more than I. The transformed beauty of his maidens always by his side might move him equally as well. Unfortunately, no. My lover won't, nor ever will bestow unto my hands, conscious these hands are, these responsibilities of love. For if that may be so, I would hold still in glory and give up eagerly any else at all I own, if just to clothe this delicate thing in obedient duty and desire. Yet though I be under the advantage still, stand I erect in small but tall posture, till the King of Hearts, keep it dear, has sent a brilliant blow my way in form of his deadly to affection leaded arrow, unlike his life of love golden one. In all protests of my crazed speech, follow him, through disobedience I did, though advised by a friendliest company whom themselves ignore my anger waxing and waning. Through throbs and pulses up a merry-go-round, myself becoming unpleasantly dizzily. But they take off any attention concern of my business, busily boasting of their escape from this loveless pit fallen I, deep fallen I. And when out of force look up do I, out of sadness upon darkest sky, I stare in open jaws of unloved knives and swords. These skies, they do perch upon my insignificant feelings, either making me a creature to raise hands in violent gestures toward the unspeaking sky and wall, carrying themselves more proud than I without a pleading protest to harm, but only a silent stare, or making me a truly blessed being with a fruitful grief. By the Mother, by the Virgin Mother Mary, I ask out of misery, either why not show me you bear witness to my love, or leave you me alone to cry. By fathomless waters less deep and dark than my pit, I see myself reflected. What I see, and in the seeing shown, in middle of the month's fall fallen. Consumed I am with desire to leave this torturous place in temper and haste, without the stolen permission of my conscience within my gutted soul, where chilled blood runs thick, for I see how more happier some more than others some may be. Though saying I, what a frustration, what a hellish plain I dove in, hoping for soul restoration. Marking note of these idle thoughts and versing love and lust, have I now information from which to dote upon. For since he in all gambling's bets will not clean pure, in hanging head I know truth. For he and I are different in birth. Pondering on this waking thought, think I may depart. For him I will not wait, for I know truth, I know truth. Love, to my last boyfriend. Truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is that love is not a state of being, but rather a verb. The truth of the matter is that one should not seek out someone to complete oneself, rather only two complete persons are ready to love. The truth of the matter is that needing love is not the same as loving without expecting anything in return. The truth of the matter is that for us to be together there are so many hurdles that our union would be nigh impossible without money. The truth of the matter is that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. And God knows we aren't rich. God knows. And we are in the perfect place to receive his help, his love. The truth of the matter is that I believe in prayer. Desire. My desire goes by another name. It is filled full with wonderment and can never be satisfied, like a holy can spewing knowledge. Before my body knew desire, the mind desired, and always wanting the edge. always wanting to stick its fingers far enough to touch the truth and essence of your being, but by breathing, by existing, an armor conceals, protecting that which is difficult, and revealing plainly that which is evident, truth and love. It only takes a moment to want to know more about you and your intriguing persona. Better than sex cake. Take a pre-made mix of personality traits and experience, add yourself and stir. Heat things up with whispers over the phone and sweet daily correspondence. Then let it cool. So it is not all about physicality, but also about substance. Poke holes slowly and faster and slower again for the tease. Make her squeal and squirm and shake and scream. Fill the holes with sweet liquid, white as condensed milk. Let it soak, keeping the skin moist. The romance freshly baked. Cover it all with icing, like weddings and commitments, like promises and vows, and sweet, delicious words sprinkled atop the cake. Now taste. Thoughts. I am a seeker, a learner, a yearner, a traveler of the mind, a collector of knowledge, a thinker. I want to know everything, all there is to know about you. All the time you think of me, and likewise I do the same. All these similarities of thought we share. I'm a planner, organizer, preparer, a creator of logistics strategies. I take thoughts and look them over, front to back, side to side, over and over, rolling it around the palm of my mind like a piece of moldable clay. Then I let it harden in the sun. I see the future, I see the past. I see that in the present moment you are reluctant, confused, hesitant, holding back. It is not meant to be, you say with a sigh. Yet it is fate, you say. Feelings are feelings. Love is not just a feeling. There's more to life than love. Consider this and that. Consider you, consider me. Consider the time and age, the place and distance, friends and family. Consider the end. And consider money. I rebut. Consider how every minute together is a minute of pure honesty. Consider how the scarcity of face-to-face interaction heightens, intensifies those romantic black and white photos we have of each other in our minds. Consider ourselves, for we are where the buck stops, where the decision is made. Consider God and the power of prayer. Consider the sacrifices I am willing to make and the gains we will both receive from such an agreement, from such a partnership, from such an arrangement. Think about it logically, pragmatically, practically, you say. I retort the same. But consider all the factors, you say. Don't you think I've thought of it? Good knees. There are so many silences in between the lines, masks over our fantasies. We could be together in paradise. It makes more sense to have a young wife. For what will happen when one gets sick and the other gets Alzheimer's? Who gives the medication? I've always felt that you are closer to God, more down to earth, more accepting of your fellow man. And why can't I be with someone like that who brings me comfort and joy? But in the end, I will say, you still have good knees, and I still have a bare finger. The fear starts in May. I ask where we're going. You say we're not going. I repeat this in my mind too many times. You say the words temporary and friends. I hear the end. It pains me. It hurts me to know that a dream can go any day from May to December. The fear burns inside that one day I will pick up the phone to hear the other end silence for too many days to remember. Nothing's impossible or too hard to believe. Don't you feel the same about me? So we're unusual. That's not unusual to me. I've had my practice with being solitary and a little bit weird. So odd looks on this end is not what I feared. When we touch, it creates lightning on the other side of the world. When we kiss, there are earthquakes because we shatter each other's predictable dreams. Life, God, shows us it is not what it seems. And the fearness of departure burns me inside. I'm not a fearful person, but desire for you I can't hide. And my biggest fear is for you to tell me goodbye, just because you care. May 2008. White. Gold is first place for those at the end of the race. The color of my ex-boyfriend's skin was opposite mine. But the color of your hair is opposite mine too. Both of you guided me in finding who I am, not then who I am. Am I a race or an age? Maybe I am just your lover for now. Maybe identity is fate, to be fulfilled in will. Maybe fate is innate. Maybe true love is created in heaven and separated by birth, like a mother from her child, like will from fate. and magnetism is what crosses the chasm of race, of age, of economy, of distance, of birth, of dark or light color. Seeker's prayer. Cover me with spools of thread, slice off mine enemies. Let me know who's inside out, whose guts are floating about. Let me know who is in your world, so I may whisper him or her the word. Cut off mine eyes that I may see. Blind me not with futility. Let me know for whom I seek, and I'll find in time. January 2nd, 2004. To my ex-boyfriends. To my soul. Feelings have no rhyme. Reason is always one thing. Fueled by human need, ingrained in blood and memory, you know of what I speak. More than 6 or 7 senses, beyond intergalactic battles of the depths of reason versus what else? Stretches past stretch marks, forgives past unforgivable, denies flaws and common or not so common inadequacies, becomes, no always is, our substance, our necessary needs. It beckons to mind complex abstractions of birth, death, afterlife. What is this power? Life, you, love. Not lust. This need to hear your voice, this biological need to be held, to be slept with, to be cuddled with, this yearning, burning, pining, this need to spill everything that's in my soul, this need to accept every part of you, this misunderstanding that there is a moral dilemma, this undesirable uncomprehension of dilemma, this need to break as many barriers as there are walls in my lonely room, this need to cling to something distant and real, this need to feel your soul. It is not lust. Strong. What a strong man needs is a woman who will shed hidden tears, for a strong man is built of hidden fears. What a strong man needs is a female soothing, who knows his life is made of proving. What a strong man needs is a shelter and haven, a place where his love is not mistaken, a place where he will not grow more cold, a place where he can speak of growing old. What a strong man needs is a woman twice as strong and twice as tender, so she can lend her heart to him, or rather, give her life. I and you. Learning is peculiar frame of mind. It is a formula. When the greatness is the unknown, breathing life into a void, when we touched and static pulled us into a oneness, when a perfect whole appeared, I and you canceled each other out of the equation. Life equals I divided by you, all squared, times I divided by you, again squared, times the greatness. And we disappeared in a nothing squared, covered in a greatness called life. But we return in non-existent time, predicting imaginary lines extending into infinity that somehow makes an atomic structure out of our nothing, making something seem real. We speak of the past when we were, and the present when we weren't, but are. Trying to make sense of mindless words created by mortal men that never were, that came from a void. Every day we wonder why we came to be and pass the time away mindlessly, with thoughts flying out the window into a stream of the answer of the day and the dark of the night, never stopping to think why we need articles in front of a noun. They seem so small and insignificant. Where did they come from? What will they do? Why did we bring them here? Where did we come from and why does it matter? All we are is gray matter and dust, but no fear, for there is a hope in that nothing. Love came from nothing and hate comes to cancel love out, so that they both exist. And I think that, even though we cancel each other out with existentialism theories, I and you are a we, though I don't know where we came from. Let me. Let me taste the color of your skin. Let me feel the fragrance of your hair. Let me, if you dare, to let me in. Two others. Rapunzel. High up on the uppermost level was I, closed off from the world and its inhabitants, with bars on my windows and a broken heart on my sleeve. I cried for help, and my help was heard many miles away, through a cell phone. How fortunate I am to have you all. How fortunate am I to be loved by a Virgo, an Aries, a Gemini, a Sagittarius. How fortunate am I to be loved by those like me, Korean adoptees, and unlike me, everyone else. How fortunate am I to be saved and sheltered, to have my faults forgiven, to have salvation and a second chance. How fortunate am I, and how rich. rich with who I have beside me, and you, my love, are rich and healthy, for even when you are weak, will I be there, as my friends were there. And when you die and I live, my friends I can count on, to be who I was for you when my hair turns your shade. Friends, we are 20-somethings flying free on each other's wings. We will be friends for life, or so I am told by the older and the wiser. Through thick and thin this will be. There will always be a thread leading back to me that ties us despite physical boundaries. We will always be as close as the married, comfortable but not lustful, open but respectful of boundaries, hugging, not Frenching, charitable but equal, basic, not bland, and understanding, not fully understanding, but trying to understand, making the effort to be understood, having by being, going the distance to ensure that our future is not lonely. We will always be friends. The bird in its natural habitat, from the husband of an Air Force wife. The time we shared my sparrow love was more than enough of heaven. I slept with a halo beside me every day, and I woke up with a vision. We had our spats, we had our arguments, we had our feuds, that is true. I tried to do what any other husband would do, but I realized I am not any other husband when I'm with you. We is the name of lasting peace. Sky is the name of God. Go to God, my angel love. It should come quite naturally to you. Agape. Past and present are all the same, but past alone has a more beauteous name. The bells of my memory ring, with sensuousness does it sing? Does it sing for a future with someone? Here is movement, here is body, here is a love as fine as a friend. The lines blur when friend is a friend with a sex attached. Family affects romance, and from romance is a friend. So why is only one told the lovely truth? All loves together, they are no different, but fools we are, such craziness, we do not hear God's commandment, because we believe there exists a line, and thus are we persecuted for having loved. But that is all we are, and that is all we breathe. The same love as any love, for a love is a love. In all moments of sweet humanity and experiences long gone, all speak out the same. Self, the result of not love. Self-loathing. I am the nightmare that comes in handfuls of lard. I am the shapeshifter that shapes into only negative moods. I am the cycle that keeps on giving me heartache. I want nothing to do with this fat, closed, lazy, blameful, insignificant fuck-up that I have become. Nothing can redeem me from the red I see. Nothing can stop me from rising in destruction despite how weak I am. Cube. I see corners everywhere, corners that invade, corners that protrude, corners that oppress, repress, depress. I see corners from the corner of my eye. I see them coming continually, continually crushing me, stabbing me in my core, stabbing at my core. I must be kind to these corners because they see me all the time, even when I am in the emptiness of the middle of the room. I have learned to get used to them, even when I run away from them. I do not like them certainly, but it makes me strong, or else very stupid. Timeliness. I can feel it creeping like a cool breeze, like lack of motivation, like lethargy. It has changed a bit. I do pointless things for no reason, like wear makeup. I am not as sarcastic and hateful, but rather resigned. It is the type I could imagine for elders who have no reason to go on and die naturally, like suicide. It has become almost idyllic, like a sanctuary, because it guards me against fear and worry. What is there to fear if everything is the same and boring? I feel free right now to have it. And in the time of great change, it is timely because I don't care. 20-something in the 21st. I grasped for my old friends with phone calls and emails. As I reach for the covers to pull over my head, I slink into dreams, frying myself into lucid obscurity. My poems crank out with the same hideously predictable tone of dread, and my schedule fills up heavily like a gallon of milk spoiled. My interests turn more boring and predictable like my mother's. I become frantic with worry that I have become uninteresting at last. I cannot imagine that I live in a world where I cannot pierce my eyebrows lest I anger my elders. A world where I cannot pierce my eyebrows lest I not have money to pay the bills. I obeyed too many rules, and this is where it leads me. This is where it led me before, and I did not learn my lesson. Self-conviction. It used to be I was too shy to stammer. No utterance came out of my mouth. For the opportunities I have, I keep a locked door. What was that line in Waterfalls? One day he goes and takes a glimpse in the mirror, but he doesn't recognize his own face. There are too many mirrors upon the rivers and lakes. Too many mirrors upon the rivers and lakes. What was that line on the insurance ad? Your dreams miss you? How true, and I'm ashamed. I have more than me to blame. This world is too much of the same, and the ride in my car is all I have to keep me sane and sane. What is it the parents of my daydreams would say? If I ain't proud, no way would they be proud of my destiny? The one that's messing me up. Locking my hands around bars on the windows, I see outside, but wish no risk to try to live. I have long felt a traitor, for what I have become is not who I am, not what I am. What I am is in hibernation, but is easy to kill, because I no longer can feel, and only repeated phrases are my skill. I am a murderer of self. I have a lifetime sentence to stare in the looking glass, see nothing, no soul, no savior. Though I would proudly die for him, wave a flag for him, and would never forsake him, I cannot choose to live for him. Why do I not pray often? For falling prey to crime against myself, I keep myself in prison. Shoved. I am being pushed from all I love, from that which gets me through the day. I have to lean on myself, quietly observing the mess from which there is no escape. I cannot imagine the escape door, for all I see is before me, and it makes me feel incompetent, like the day I was born, and I cling stubbornly to who I was, swearing that it's the same as who I am. But inside, deep down, is the thought that I am incompetent, embarrassing, unmotivated to be competent. For the funnels of the deep are sinking, and I wade through my anger, upset at not having reached the other shore. Double. I am two, split in one. Take me out and I'll be there. Not who I am or what I was, two enemies entwined, matched and separated, tragicomedy. Floor, oh floor, I raise you up, you humblest of humble, lowest of low, you who feel the stomps of the angry and the fleet steps of the joyous, you who are a guide who provides paths for the lost, you who are never remembered and never thanked, you who have seen everything, felt everything, you who people cover with dirt without care, you who do not mind and never fight back, you who are patient, you who are stained by humanity's faults, you who have taken in all the sins of the world, you, floor. Oh, floor, I raise you up. 2001. Floor 2. Hello again. It's been fun getting to know you. Truly, you are amazing. You remind me of what strength means. You have at least taught my body so. And you remind me of how I should be just as strong. Floor, you are always there for me. And whenever we are not together, I return to you. For I feel fear when I cannot touch you. You teach me faith and you teach me support. Thanks for that. You do not hurt me, would never hurt me willingly. When I have been hurt by you, it is always my own fault. And still you give me a lesson. You teach me that life is hard. Floor, you are so undervalued, for you are treated with no respect, but continue always to love and support. You are the supporting character. You are not invisible, though you seem to be. Floor, it aches me how little recognition you receive. It saddens me to think of all you have witnessed, how much wisdom you can share, how many lives you have touched, and yet remain forgotten, that the love you give is incomprehensible, and that no one loves you in return. February 19, 2004. Under the thumb. Here's a rule of thumb. Don't get under it. Don't be squashed with your legs sticking up and out and up, out and down at the same time, with green pus squirting out of you. All that green stuff you've let hibernate inside, ready to be born from your womb, unwilling to come out head first or feet first, but C-section first. Be it your family or friends, be it the lover who loves you less than you fear him, be it the only one who listens to you. Don't learn to live under it. You will become a pancake that was never flipped, too battered on the side people see, and dark as the end of the world's sun underneath the skin. Don't let the thumb push you back into a black kettle, boiling around you, on you, and in you. Don't be the frog waiting for a princess, waiting for a miracle. Don't get used to hell and be unable to jump out when you recognize it for what it is, For God's sake, don't be mean. Those with the most pain go to heaven. That better be, that better be. Or I won't go home with them. 'Tis better to be not beautiful. Only the good will take the time to know you enough to fall in love with you. Christmas lights. Untangling two sets of lights, unable to find where to begin, afraid to break the bulbs lest all the lights go out, making noise, hushed cursing, believing that they will be untangled eventually. I'm wired like speed to find that one whisper in my two sets of voices. Valley of the Mind Shadow. Society, passive year, me, active guilt. Idle hands make gray matter mold and stale. On TV tonight a special. Self-actualization in actuality, a satire, issue 69. The riches and politicality of doing nothing, also referred to as isolation. Neutrality in an objective world, vaguely impartial, unreactive, detached, dispassionate, sluggish and selfish, and always apathetic. Flip the remote and there is $1 in your wallet. Hooray for charity. Intemperance. Or else you could revel in ignoring burdens. It is picketing. Other needs to be fulfilled. Catatonic defense mechanism, wanting to protect my self-esteem, unable. That look crosses my face, tying me down naked. My beating thoughts flood my system, and the system freezes like a baby, poisoned with cyanide. It's a deceitfully beautiful spring day. Analyze every point, every non-point, and come up with a question. Let's start over. Next topic. Let's discuss tolerance and immorality indifferently. I walk along the ignored ashes of beauty trapped by carelessness. I walk along the ignored ashes of beauty trapped by carelessness, the cold and rough ashes, a large centipede coming out of a patchwork of neglected weeds, and I see the sad seagulls that swoop and caw as if by sea, framed by the white wishbone overlooking a track and rough white rope, though you can't feel its bumps until you look at it. I walk by a wrinkled track made of recycled tires with rubber sprinkles. I hear the chatter of a wire fence and the green cacti-like vegetation underneath, reaching a hand from its prison trying to escape. I pass by a papery sign personalized with a green handprint and a piece of pink gum. The dirt on its ice pole cracked and exposed like scales of an alligator. I cross the light tan asphalt dried with sands of the Sahara, circumferenced by the edge of a yellow curve like a woman's hip, and I step on a dried blood scar in the road, covered in a pattern of mechanical objects, green and red cars ready for Christmas. I pass a prison with a poster from over 3 years back, bound to its brick border, and I see its windows, tinted so you can't see beyond the outside. I hear chattering girls scuffle on the grass with a tiny, crunching noise of hair, as a group of white-shirted boys loudly clap and clod, dragging their shoes on the road and clicking rocks against the asphalt with the snap, snap of fingers. I see these boys test their climbing expertise on trees and decide who can jump the farthest down the stairs. They do not see the dry and spacious sky. I smell sweat and cologne, cut grass, tree sap, and pine. I see a diagonal tree with its piney Hawaiian twigs raised skyward. I feel wood like dried skin, sandy like wood, ready to be sawed, wrapped in a forgotten rubber cord. I see an infant tree protected by its voluptuous mother and the pine cone lying at its feet, constructed from construction paper confetti. I see a vacuum carpet of grass with patches of dirt, dry dirt baldness, and a mouth of chocolate milk mud, the results of rain and sun. I see the closed gray clouds with thin lights shining through while the rest remains a secret, hidden from our careless ways. May 17th, 2000. Les abeilles rencontrent l'être humain. Around you flit with clothes painted on the skin, clinging to your bones, talking in bird-like floating waves in 8th and 16th notes and a whole note of, oh my God, did you see what he was wearing? I cannot concentrate among chirping bees, who wave their extremities while buzzing. Thankfully, I live not by insect standards. Insect, insectum, insectus, insecure, insecure. Did you hear the clock's clicks rain over the soundless air? Your castanets rattle off name and name and name of who has a new movie, or who went to the dance last Saturday, or who gave you a C because he didn't like you, you suppose. And then the sprinklers go off, shooting streams of wet laughter. You cannot see me because I hear the clock's clicks raining over the soundless air. A man authoritative speaks as you slide your closed eyes over a pile of arms, distorting your backside out, revealing silky red paint on your buttocks and the stomach you've read about, and the dream of balloons and crepe paper on the kitchen cafeteria floor, and the wet kiss and the waves of vibrating bodies, and the clock stops fleetingly, and I leave the hive to wave a high smile to the human friends that greet me with Shakespeare and Newton and Yeats and Einstein while you check out groceries for chirping bees. Metaphysical. When your mind is fish-like and thoughts disappear before spoken, when objective and subjective are both valid and invalid, when every revelation is once uttered cliché, of course, artfully so, mysterious-like, when you grasp onto odd déjà vus and ponderings of your child, much better at the abstract but less able to explain, when you reach for someone's mind as if it's your own, when you clothe yourself in ambiguous terms, only to reveal to those who already know you the meaning, the personal meaning, and how it drives you, and the broad, everyman sense or specific circumstantial description it has of you. You have thought of me. October 23rd, 2003. Metaphysical 2. In every theory, I am the exception. In every recycled thought, I am eternal. I am what science disproves. In every embrace, I am the untouched. In every end, I am the beginning. In every box, I am the emptiness. I am you. In every clash, I am the peace. In every peace, I am the war. I heal those who don't need healing. I am the assassin for those who don't need death. I rob those who have nothing and give to them who have everything. I am one, I am the other, I am nothing, everything, duality. The Pathetic Book of Poetry, a collaboration of poems by collective poets. Substantial abuse. I can't imagine what it's like to need downers when you're down and uppers when you're upset. I can imagine looking in the mirror and not recognizing your own face. I can imagine getting nervous in front of a crowd of 2 or more. I can imagine hyperventilating, but I can't imagine believing that I could be cured from being myself. I can't imagine trying so hard to fit in that you would sacrifice your life and destroy any semblance of future peace for immediate gratification. I can imagine being sick and getting used to sickness, but I can't imagine getting used to filth, late-night parties at age 50, and other adolescent behavior. I was never an adolescent. I went from childhood to adulthood. I can imagine being afraid, but I can't imagine ignoring the warnings, the skull and crossbones, the radioactive symbol, the intuition. I can imagine obsession and obsessive compulsiveness, bordering on neuroticism, but I cannot imagine addiction to sadness and depravity, misery and moroseness. No, I may have been without self-esteem once or twice before. I may have engaged in self-destructive behavior, but I refuse to understand your experiences, even though I understand your feelings and your anger. God's clone. Let us take a journey from the kitchen to the bedroom. It is a journey of 1,000 steps, if one does a bit of dancing, running, jumping, walking in circles. Welcome to the rabbit hole. Above the door it states, I am God's clone, and I am not alone, for I am your clone as you are mine. Why dost thou believe me only when I say that our genetic makeup has a very similar pattern? All it is makeup. All it is a mask. We are like the sky, merging into each other, like clouds. Some puffy, some silver-lined. We are not just marbles that collide. I am always on your side, both left and right, but never wrong. In one lifetime, you can be many persons physically, genetically, and not so. In the life of this planet, solar system, galaxy, and universe, we are many versions of the same file, and all of our memories are in the same database. We are all on different paths in different folders with the same destination. Opportunity, impunity, unity, which we receive with alacrity. Peace. Order. I used to have order, everything in its proper place. I slept at regular intervals and knew exactly how to make myself come. Then the world became topsy-turvy when you licked me while I was contemplating life and the suicidal ideation of agnostic friends. In a matter of some insanely short time, we were inseparable, comparing ourselves to famous TV couples from the black and white era and practicing our oral skills until our bodies were too tired to express our emotions. It's not like I'm unused to disorder, but I am unused to speed. I've never tried it and never imagined I'd get used to it. I never imagined I'd get used to everything being strewn about, sleeping only when the mood strikes, and never knowing what tiny adventure to expect. But I never had any expectations besides what I'm used to.
Oh, my baby, you have so much to learn. Oh, my baby, you have trust to earn. Oh, my baby, you have so much to give. My baby, you have so much more to live. My baby, you're bright as the sun, rising above everyone. My baby, you're oh so much fun. You're the one in a million suns that bear the gift of life. Despite the burning and the strife, despite the memories in your life. Oh, my baby, you have so much to learn. Oh, my baby, you have trust to earn. Oh, my baby, you have so much to give. My baby, you have so much more to live. And you are in luck, my sweet young buck, in silvery hair, white and fair, because, well, you see, you'll always have me, and I have teachings to share.